how has the concept of work changed within the workforce, and what implications do these changes have on organizations and board governance?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Annabelle. Work, work, work. Yeah, there's that song. Work, work, work. Right. Of course, we would all talk about, for starters, what C19 brought to all of us, right? The new world of work. Then we talked about the new normal, and then people said, no, it is not normal. We are releasing it. It's not it. And then it is, no, it is not. And went a bit around that. But I think one of the things it did for us is it began pointing us towards a focus on what I do rather than when I do it or where I do it from. And that began to change. Of course, we were forced to work from home remotely at that time. But over time, there are those who chose to run with it. And there are those who tried it, and it didn't work, and then went into maybe a bit of a hybrid, and for some struggled with it. And so there's a bit of that has changed over time. In my company, we've remained remote. 5 years down the road now, we still are working remotely. So it's changed the way we work. And it presents challenges, of course. It presents opportunities as well to us. At least we saved time. I did a computation in the past to see how much time we saved in just choosing to do that. And I figured that we spend about 3 to 4 hours, those who stay out of town and come and work in CBD, we spend 3 to 4 hours preparing to come to work, coming to work, reaching work, settling in at work, and then you start, and then preparing to go home, then going home, then settling back home. You know, when the kids come and you're like, Daddy, no, give me some 10 minutes. I was in jam. I almost knocked a border. So it takes about 3 to 4 hours. And put together in a year, a couple of hundreds of days you might spend doing that of productive time. So for us, it saved us that. Of course, it brings challenges, things around mental health and how do you deal with things like that. But those are issues that then boards need to be thinking about in governance and the policies that need to be putting in place to think about things like that. Maybe the other I could say would be the advent of gig working, freelance working, contract part-time working. I think increasingly, and maybe in the future, we might have more people going for gigging. I'm just looking at people who are nodding to know if they understand gigging, or they're wondering, what is this gigging thing?
You could explain it.
Yes, I'm going to explain it. I just want to look around the room to see, am I seeing frowns of gigging? What's that? The Gen Zs will understand. I'm not a Gen Z, but at least I listen to what they say. But where work is not necessarily, you don't own a person's employee for 8 to 5 every day for 5 days a week. Someone will say, I'm going to give you 3 hours a day for the week, and that's it. The other 4 hours, 5 hours, I want to do other things that are meaningful to me. Not that your work is not meaningful to me, but I just want to be able to do other things. So if you're going to retain me, then I need to have that space. So that presents opportunities, because there are people you are employing right now who are doing other things, not so. But now you make it formal. I just said, okay, let's pay you for the 6 hours that you're giving us, and then the 2, you can go and do whatever it is you want to do. So there is a bit of that as well that comes through. And you get into spaces where you're focusing more on output of work rather than input. Where are you? How much have you done? I don't see you. And the focus of performance management goes more into what are you meant to deliver in this period, and what have you been able to deliver in this period. There are things that require a bit more courage that maybe we've tried out. Personally, I have not, for the 15 years I've led as an MD, I have never given job descriptions to my staff. A moment of silence. Yes. Yes, first thing people say, how? How do people know what to do? How do they do this? But we've not done that because many of us say we reward innovativeness, we reward creativity, but within these 12 bullets. So create, but within these 12. So in a way, you're saying you want to create, and yet you're taking it away. So what we've tried to do is to pick the medical analogy, if you like, where when a patient is in pain, they go to the doctor and ask and say, these are my symptoms. I have a headache, I have this, and I have that. And then the doctor will analyze, will diagnose, and will give you treatment. So in this case, the employer is the patient. You have a finance, you need someone who is going to take care of your finances. You need someone who is going to make sure that your money is not leaking. So your pain is, my money is leaking, or I want to grow my money, I don't know what to do. So you call this person who is experienced as a finance person and tell them that I want to be able to deal with this. How would you do it? So who comes up with a JD? It's that finance person, because they're the expert. They know what to do. We spell out what our pain is very clearly, and then they work out what it is they're going to do. We discuss that. Will that work? Yes. So what do you need from me to make it work? Then we provide that, then it works. HR, take care of our people. That's the role. And then they'll begin thinking, you are the expert, you know how to take care of our people, come back to me and tell me how you want to take care of our people. And then they'll come up with all these things, we'll build frameworks around them, and then we'll say, fine, let's try it out. If it works, we keep it. If it doesn't work, we squash it. We do another. We said this was about some controversial things and thought-provoking maybe, and asking how do you, but that's what we've been doing. And I'm just proposing that maybe, just maybe, if we get back to a point where the person you're employing is employed for their skills, is employed for their expertise, and you allow them to be able to bring it to work and their creativity. Of course, when they're going to give you medication that you're allergic to, you also mention, no, I'm allergic to that, so it won't work. Give me something different maybe. You have a bit of a role, but I think that's how, in part, the world of work is changing. Of course, digital transformation, AI, and all those things, holistic view of employees beyond just training them and all, looking at the holistic view of employees and all that. So all these things are presenting governance with new challenges, with budget approvals. What do you need to approve if you have remote workers, infrastructure, ergonomic furniture, for instance, that people need to take home, as opposed to keeping it at work in the office, and things like that, collaboration tools, and many things like that. So budget approvals will go into things like that, mental health issues and spaces where people are able to go and spend their time, so that they don't lose their mind, etc., etc., etc. So boards need to, I think, reflect a bit more in some of the spaces if they're going to try out some of these things. But I think for me, my encouragement is to say, let's try out. Let's see if it works. Thank you.